This is Laserlight Presents All About the Gig. And we're back. All right. Today we have in the house some special guests. We have Amanda and Joe of No Sin in Eden. How are you guys doing?
We're great.
Good.
Excited to be
Good.
here.
I like that Joe checked with Amanda to make sure we knew how he was doing.
I had to look at the boss.
He knows his place.
And of course, we got the duo. We got Dave and Devin. How you guys doing?
Doing well.
Same
Excellent.
here.
Excellent. Well, we really appreciate you guys sitting in with us, and we're going to call this an artist special guest rendition, if you will.
Nice.
This episode, we're going to talk about your band. We're going to talk about past, present, and future. And
Oh, boy.
we're going to...
I don't think you have enough time for all that. Just saying.
Well,
Episode 2 coming up next week.
Yeah, there you go. Oh, yeah. I'm already sensing, we're infamous for that. So that's it for part 1, which I'm sure I'll be saying later. Well, let's start off here. We had a great day. No Sin in Eden was in the house. Joe and Amanda were laying down some more tracks today. We're having excellent momentum and really enjoying the vibe and the rhythm of what we're doing thus far.
So are we.
Yeah. It's been a great, well, thank you. It's been a
Yeah,
great
it's-
experience thus far.
So
And,
that's
it's kind of that second wave, too. So we had a great first go around pre-COVID, and now we're doing that follow-up, and we're really catching all that we can, as much as we can, as often as we can, even in the last couple of weeks, too. So we've got a few weeks to go yet, too. So excellent. Okay. Now, let's look at some questions that I have. Okay. All right.
I'm starting to sweat.
Well, everybody wants, and we'll look to the advisory panel over here, Dave and Devin.
What's your
You know,
mother's
anytime
maiden
you're in
name?
doubt,
What
just
state
look
did
over
you
there and
grow
be
up
like,
What did you have for dinner?
well, cool. Let's kick it off. Let's talk about the first time you knew, whether it was collective or individually, that music and or performance was going to be a road that you were going to travel down. When did that
Wow.
overcome you? When did you realize?
Oh, no. I'm going to let you start
I-
there, Joe.
I really don't know where to go with that one.
Have at it.
There must have been a moment, right, where you stopped singing with things and started saying to yourself, I can do this, I'm going to do this, and this is where I'm going to start.
Honestly, it has to do with her.
Mine's the same
Cool.
answer, but
Nothing wrong.
with him.
The
I mean-
opportunity that was thrust upon you.
Yeah.
Well, it goes back to I was with
Prior people.
prior people. No naming names.
That's our standard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we had a small band, but mostly it was just the two of us, and we wrote a lot of songs together, and we got on some internet radio stations, but this was back with MySpace,
Yeah.
and we actually had a contract for iHeartRadio to do like side stages or something, but
Yeah.
it was amazing. And
Well, that's pretty cool.
got it, and his wife told him, nope, you can't do it.
Wow.
I'll divorce you. We're all done if you play music again. And he shut everything down. We had
Yeah.
websites and stuff. He changed all the passwords. I
Right at
couldn't-
the intersect of actual success. Wow.
So that was like a big hiccup. And then I went through a divorce, and I quit. I was all done with music. I was like, I'm not doing this ever again.
Wow.
And then
In the midst of all that, we got together. We're actually married.
hey, we're
I
married.
see. I'm reminding you, we're married. I was a choir girl from high school and then didn't sing anything after until Joe and I got together. And that's when I was like, you're not quitting. I'll sing for you if I have to sing for you. You're going to play and we're going to go ahead and do this. And we're going like, to be honest, back to 2011. Like that's how far back we kind of started,
Nice.
and then it's been a struggle. It's been a battle. Life, we met later in our lives. So life's not been like simple, like, hey, we're just going to go be musicians. We have like a whole life, a whole family, a whole thing we have to balance with. So that's where we're at.
Well, right, but the two of us coming together is what
Yeah.
kind of was the moment that we were like, we're just going to do this. Because I mean, prior to that, I was in a lot of bands. I did a lot. I played with a lot of different people,
Oh, really?
and I loved doing it. and everybody always thinks they're going to make it. You know, everybody's like, oh yeah, we got the band, we got the sound, we're going to do this, you know.
Yeah.
But, you know, and the funny thing was, is a lot that we did back then was we wanted to do a lot of cover songs and play in bars and stuff. You know, that was like, we're going to go up there and have some fun and get girls and stuff.
Yeah, make a mark, you know, leave a footprint. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Now your girl's singing for you.
Yeah,
So I
heck
mean,
yeah.
like now we're just at a point where we're like, you know what, we love what we've written and we want a lasting product. We don't want to just, I mean, playing live is great, but we want something that, you know,
Sustainable.
yeah, and something that shows our legacy to our children at this point, you know.
Yeah. Some leave behind. Yeah.
Legacy.
Yeah,
Legacy work. Yeah, absolutely.
100 years from now, someone could find the obscure song that we played that has 5 people that listen to it at some point and be like, hey, that's cool. And I'm dead for 100 years.
So Amanda, you feel
Yeah.
like you found your voice, grade school, high school, you know, you said you were
You know,
Yesterday.
Yeah. Yeah.
Kinda. I mean, it's funny because I sang in choir. I loved it.
Yeah.
I was not a leading lady type. I was your middle of the road fill-in singer, you know, with
Yeah.
everybody else in the choir. I didn't, you know, I didn't really have a lot of confidence in myself. It wasn't until I got together with Joe that I found my I mean, it really was later in my life. Like we're talking, you know, many years after high
Sure,
school.
sure.
Let's just go that way.
So you were learning, you know,
Yeah.
modeling.
and then even then, like where how I sing now is not how I sang 3 years ago at all.
Interesting.
Like you,
Interesting.
Again, it was a band moment.
Yeah.
yeah.
We had another singer, can't name names, who we were rehearsing for a show, and she was our lead singer, and she was like, you know what, you got 2 singers, you don't need me to show up, I'm going to do something else today.
That kind of ended it because that really made me mad. You know, like you putting us on a back burner for.
Yeah.
It wasn't like some drastic thing she had to go do. This wasn't like life or death or emergent. You know, this was something.
She was going to go golf or something, I don't know.
But
And it
for
was
some
like-
reason, it eclipsed
You know what?
something that meant
Yeah.
way more to you.
Yeah, and it was
we
just
had a
like
whole band, and
yeah, it was
she
just,
was just standing us
Sorry.
all up.
to me it was, you know, okay, well, we don't need you then. You know,
Right.
if it's what it's gonna take, I'll step up and you know.
Yeah. It's a
That's
level
where we're
of
at.
prioritization.
Yeah, it is.
Right. Absolutely.
It is. This means too much to us at this point. We've put into too much effort, money, time to
Oh,
play around anymore.
tell me about it.
Yeah.
Tell me about it.
Yeah.
And then Joe, did it start with guitar, bass? You know, when did you first pick up a string instrument and think, boy, this feels great, fits well, and I'm doing really good at it, you know?
I grew up in a household that had organs and pianos and,
Oh, man.
and guitars everywhere. So my dad played guitar, played harmonica. All my uncles play guitar and stuff. Like everybody plays an instrument.
Yeah.
So it was
Yeah.
just something I always had. I can't like
Yeah.
look
What
back
do
at
they
a
call that?
specific
Woven
point.
in the wool or something like that? You know, when you're brought up with that. Yeah.
Yeah, to me it was always there. So there was always music, you know. But I grew up listening to Motown and stuff like that. So yeah, I didn't even hear like Led Zeppelin or anything like that until mid '80s.
Yeah.
You know, and that's funny to me. I
kind
don't
of
know.
broke off and
Yeah,
separated yourself a little
listening
bit.
to this stuff, you know, going, wow, I missed out on a whole '70s, you know, everything in the '70s and early '80s. So
Yeah.
you know.
Well, you
But
caught up
weird.
quick.
Oh yeah. Now I listen to everything.
I know.
now.
I'm hearing everything that I grew up with and experienced thus far, and even till yesterday. So, absolutely, the name, No Sin in Eden, very cool. Name. No Sin in Eden.
It's cool, but I feel like it's really put us in a very
I could make up a story.
it's put us in a
I don't
category.
know. Sometimes it's the best. You know. Sometimes it was like, well, I looked at the first thing in front of me and read it out loud.
I was watching History Channel.
There you go.
There
And
it
it
is.
was banned books of the Bible, and
Yeah.
one of the dialogue over something was that in Eden there was no sin, and then they repeated, there was no sin in Eden, and I looked at her and said, that's the name of our band.
There it is. That's
Yeah.
so cool.
It was either that or Path of Totality, but I thought that's
Yeah.
a heavy metal band.
Sure.
It's not gonna work.
Probably.
with
I'm
us.
hearing way different stuff. Right.
It's not gonna work.
I feel like in more recent, in the last couple of years, we tried to segue more to the NSIE abbreviation, just because we get a lot of, I think, expectation that we are a Christian band, we're not, obviously. You listen to a few of our tracks, especially ones we've done recently in recording.
Not that
Well, there's
anything
nothing wrong with
being
pulling in as
Christian
many
bands.
ears as possible,
No,
too.
but unfortunately, I think we get looked over a lot because it's just an assumption. It's not people listening. It's they're like, oh, that doesn't fit what we're looking for this music festival or this gig. So I feel like it has played against us over the years. Oh well,
So the search
sticking with it.
may
plus-
start one way, and then the
Yeah.
discovery kind of isolates you sometimes.
Sometimes it seems.
Yeah.
It
Plus,
seems
I
that
don't
way.
even know what genre we are half the time. I mean, we're pop, we're pop rock,
Right.
We're
So it's just,
alternative,
you
we're
know.
folk music. People keep throwing Americana at us a lot too, and I'm like, really, we're Americana? I guess I don't
That's
know.
the fad.
Yeah, it kind of
I'll
is,
tell you
isn't
what.
it?
I mean, as big as the
Yeah.
as big as the pinwheel can be, so be it.
Right.
And that's a good thing sometimes when you are displaced, then you don't get pigeonholed either.
That's true.
Well, right.
You know,
That's
true. Yeah.
you don't deal with that isolation factor. First song. What did you guys? First song you collaborated on.
Oh, okay. I think.
Maybe
Have we
as-
recorded
Probably-
it over the past few weeks?
No.
That's a good
Okay.
question.
I don't think so. I would say Fallen Angel
Oh,
be our first collaboration.
yeah.
I mean, okay, so we have this song called Fallen Angel. It's about a runaway, and you find out the end isn't so happy.
It's not.
Yeah.
But he was at the time he was working in a factory, and he sent me this like message with like these lyrics, and I'm like, wow, that's really good, but like it's just a verse. Where's the rest of it? And so I'm like, will you finish it? And he's like, okay, and he like I wake up the next morning and sing on the kitchen table of these lyrics for this song, and it's called Fallen Angel, and it's she turned 16 the day she left. No, oh geez, I haven't sang in so long. Nothing to be heard from. Like the parents don't know where she, and you basically find out at the end that the runaway ends up not, surviving. Like she ends up dead, and her parents get notified. Like it's a horrible song, but that
reality,
has I mean, but that song, honestly, we got featured on the 1-800-RUNAWAY Twitter page with that song. The Missing in
Wasn't it
Michigan.
Facebook or- that was yeah.
Yeah, the Missing in Michigan used our song for their
for their video for
people
the year.
missing, the children and the adults that are missing in our
Wow.
area. Like
It was used in an independent film too. The instrumental track was used in a
Yeah,
an
so I
independent
mean-
film.
I don't know.
How were these different sources? How did they hear about it? What was your way of awareness, if you will? How come they were like discovering this?
I don't know how the runaway hotline found it.
I don't know that one either, honestly.
I mean, at the time,
Don't.
how
We
were
were
you
playing it a
marketing
lot
it,
in
or how are you
we played it in
publicizing,
coffee
what
houses.
were you doing?
Yeah, I mean, I think it was just something we had up on YouTube,
Oh,
and
yeah,
we had a
there you
lyric
go.
video for it.
there you go.
We played it in every coffee house.
Yeah.
We usually opened we finished with that song
Something
in our set with
Yeah.
our singer-songwriter sets that we would play.
I don't know how it was found, to be honest with you.
Well, you never know who's there having,
Yeah.
a moment.
Yeah.
That hears, they may even not even approach you sometimes, but they sure
Right.
as heck wrote it down and made a note. We've talked about in the other cast. You just never know who's in the audience.
Yeah.
We've been lucky that way a lot.
I bet. I bet. Well, it sounds like your area too is sort of a hotbed, recognition wise, and right.
Kind
You
of.
feel that way about?
No.
Not
No?
so
Really?
much right
It-
where we're at.
I
Yeah.
feel we're in a very, and this is not to put people who, musicians, cover bands, I don't mean this like as a knock, but we're in a very cover band area. People want your 4-hour bar sets.
Sure,
I think you
sure.
guys talked about
Yeah,
a
we've
set you
talked.
had to play.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
We're no stranger.
no, right. Well, I mean, it's great. You're making money.
Oh yeah.
But,
no
as
one
an
wants to-
original band,
Yeah,
I mean,
no
let's
one
be
wants us in a
realistic.
bar.
You
Yeah.
can't do 4 hours as an original band without throwing covers in, without, how that goes. Like,
We're
so,
keeping people from walking away.
yeah, well, exactly. So our area is great for 70s cover bands. And that's kind of where
Some 80s cover bands have now started to come into the mix, which I like.
yeah, but that's about it. I
You
don't
get
know.
adventurous even do 90s sometimes.
Do you guys
Oh,
find that you have to
yeah.
do a lot of multi-stage nights, like multi-build nights with a lot of artists?
Yes,
Is that
very
common?
much so.
Yeah.
So we have very few original act type venues around us, like right where we're at in our downriver community.
There's
I
a
mean,
handful, but
There's places in Ann Arbor, of course. There's places more up in Detroit, probably more north, like the Ferndale, your more artsy communities. But where we're at, it's hard to find. So the few places you find, you're getting that. You're getting 4, sometimes 5 acts, on one bill, and then you're still not seeing a turnout because
And you're probably only seeing Door, I'm guessing.
yeah,
yep.
yes,
That's
exactly.
that's tough. Yeah.
It is.
And every time we've done that, we don't take the door. We give it to
yeah, because
the
you're just
band,
not really
the-
seeing
who's-
enough.
No, we give it to the different act.
Yeah.
The people who have more people,
Yeah.
it's like,
You
okay,
know,
I'll
you see
take my
these-
$5 or $10, I guess, but it's how it
I mean,
feels.
I'm not hurting. I'm up there. I'm playing for fun, and then you see some of these guys, and they're playing their hearts out, and I'm like, I can't take the door from these guys, man. This is them.
Some of that plays into us not knowing what genre either. It seems like we always get stuck with these acts that we're like, these are nothing like what we sound like.
I
These
assume
are
a lot
you guys
of
get-
metal bands.
Yeah,
and
do you guys
stuff
get
like
stuck
that.
with pretty hard rock bands? Because
Yeah.
your name almost gives me that connotation.
and then punk, a lot of punk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Toledo has a lot of that
like-
too.
Man, we
Very
had a
big
couple of
metal
weird,
scene.
like, witch bands. I can't
Yeah.
even describe what they are.
Very odd. Yeah,
Interesting.
I mean, a couple like that weren't.
But they're fun.
Yeah, I mean, there was some
love
really great
listening to
acts,
them.
but it's like we don't really. This isn't our crowd. Like we get up there and we look like like mom and dad. Like everybody else is like dressed out in outfits and costumes and almost gimmicks, but we're like,
Sure.
I'm in a
oh, well.
t-shirt and pants and
Yeah, and we're like, well, whatever. We're just gonna go up and do a show, but
Sure.
yeah.
wearing my Van Halen t-shirt,
Spin-offs from the Kiss Army.
exactly, exactly.
Yeah. Or Disciples of, whichever.
Yeah, there you go.
Let's talk a little bit about Nothing to Something. Who comes to who primarily, or is it a blend? I can't get this phrase out of my head. I can't get this emotion or this story that is just stuck. I can't get this riff or this premise.
Right.
How does that work?
So it's.
Is it a blend?
I would say it's a blend.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he's the guitar player. I don't play an instrument. My instrument is my voice. So often he'll be playing something. And actually, that's how our song Hard Pass came along. Because I had these lyrics written. I'll just write stuff. Like, I don't know what it is. My life has been like a soap opera or something. And I have all this, like, that's how I
Dialogue.
put it out. Yeah.
Yeah.
I start writing stuff. Or I come up with really interesting phrases. And then so I started writing this stuff. And then he started playing a melody. And that's how Hard Pass came to be. Because I was like, I can sing to that. Hang on, play that again. And that's usually how it is for us. He'll have phrases, and then he'll write stuff down. And usually I take it, and I don't know. Over the years, I've become the lyrical one, and he's become the
you are the songwriter,
musical one.
but you write better songs than I do. So
I would.
Well, I have to say that you guys have a very unique and special gift in the sense that your narratives are excellently paralleled to your sound, to your tone.
Thank you.
It doesn't sound like I'm listening to a story that has nothing to do with the emotion that's being invoked, by this the musical side of it. You guys seem to align
Well, thank you.
the two
Yeah.
in a very special way.
How is it living with each other and co-writing all those songs? Because that's a pretty unique experience for a lot of people who are in your position. Like, do you find that you're just like strumming guitar on the couch every once in a while, making a new thing, and then like you can like start singing along with him or playing around? Like, is it more casual maybe, or?
It's probably a little more casual. He'll play often. He'll just pick up the guitar and do the twiddling thing, like all of you guitar players love to do. And then every once in a while he'll play something that's new that I haven't heard before, and I'll be like, wait a minute, I think I have something for that. I pull out my memos in my phone because that's where I always end up writing at work or something. It's random.
she has like 40 notepads full of lyrics.
Places where you want to be distracted.
One's labeled, like emotional cutter songs. One's,
right.
At least
And
yours
so-
are labeled. I got a million videos that are just a black screen of no label, just singing somewhere.
I do that too sometimes, like little voice clips. And so I guess it's really casual, but like I can write to that. I think I've got something that fits it. And sometimes we can sit down and write an entire song, and sometimes we get a verse and then we don't touch it again for months. You know, we're not your typical writers who are just sitting down trying to write a bunch of original songs just to make an album or just, you know, I find the
Letting
best
it
writing.
happen, maybe?
Yeah, the best writing comes from when you really feel it, when it really like hits you hard, you know.
Sure.
So-
When you have something that
Yeah, it's something
Has
that
affected
means
you.
something.
A
I
lot of
just don't want to
stories to
write
tell.
fluff. Like
Yeah.
if I'm gonna
I like
write
fluff.
a song, I know.
well, sometimes that's a foundational thing too.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, and it's fine for filler stuff. We have plenty of songs that are filler songs that we've written that are
Yeah.
just goofy. But you know, I don't know. My writing's become really personal in the last several years. So
Well, that's very cool. That's development. You know, absolutely.
Thanks.
First performance. When was the first time you guys?
Ned Bash.
Oh yeah, Ned Bash.
We know that one's easy. That was way back in 2011. It's a long time ago.
And how did it start? Hey,
Whole decade.
this is who said who said what to who.
Oh man, you put it like that. That was way back. Yeah. So
It was just the three of us, too.
yeah, where
right?
he worked before his day job years ago, 10 years ago. It's crazy.
Yeah.
He worked with somebody who had property and always put on like this big summer barbecue
An annual
concert
bash.
bonfire. He knew all these cover bands, all these bands that he would get to play. So he knew us and he invited us to come in and kind of open.
on a dare.
Yeah,
Let's be
I don't
honest,
think he
it's kinda
thought
like
he was
a
going
dare,
to do
you know?
it.
He's like, oh, you got a
Sometimes that's
band,
how the
huh?
waves
And I'm
start,
like, yeah, I got a
Yeah.
band. You know, we play music. He's like, oh, yeah, well,
So that's how.
come
that's,
on out. We'll have you play for us. I'm
Yeah,
like,
that
"All
was
right,
it.
yeah,
That was
we
our
can do
first
that."
gig, and
Yeah.
wow, we were rough around the edges. Like we listened to some playback now, and it's like I said, I've changed in my singing a
But
lot
you
over
had
the
the
years.
confidence. You
Yeah,
know, we
we
speak
did
to
it.
that in prior casts.
You know what?
You know, it's about stepping through. You
I
know,
don't. You know, it's funny
I
you
think-
say that
you know
because
what?
he didn't know he had that until he hit that
Yeah.
stage, and then it was like, okay, somebody else wants to turn. Like, get
Going
over there.
back
It's
to
my
one
turn.
of your
or-
original questions, that first moment when you were like, this is what you want,
Yep.
that would have to be it.
for
Really?
him.
That's when you knew.
Yeah, we were doing a bunch of covers, and I sang like half of them, right? Or
Yeah, back
maybe
when he sang.
2/3.
He sang.
And I came out and we had just obscure. See, that's the other thing too. We didn't want to just do like songs everybody would do. We did obscure stuff across the board. So
Very
like,
cool.
you know, can I say names of songs?
Of course. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Okay. So Hotel Yorba, White Stripes. I don't know if you guys have ever heard that obscure song. So I open with that. Boom! I start playing it, singing it. My eyes are closed. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna open my eyes and look. And all the girls in the front were singing it with me. and I said, I want to do this forever.
Man.
Like, oh man, this is great. Like, who knew
Yeah,
this?
you get that kind of engagement. You get that. Oh yeah.
That was my one and only time tambourine debut.
Sure.
Played
Like, so
tambourine
I-
that day.
Yeah, he keeps trying. But yeah, that's true.
That's
that
right.
Was, that was like his.
I completely
want to do
forgot
this
about that.
moment. And
Well, it's got to feel great to go back and listen to those too, because you know, if you listen back to them, you said we sound exactly the same now. It's like that means we haven't gotten any better in 10 years.
That's yeah, thank goodness we have. That was
You
rough.
want to grow.
Yeah. Oh, we grew. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
That was.
And you get that song too now. Every time you hear that song,
Yeah.
you know, or whatever, you know, you get to say, "Man, that's the one we cut our teeth on."
yeah, it's
I
true.
forgot about that moment completely.
There you go. There's an anniversary song.
Right, and we got invited back. We did that every year for a couple of years in a row,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, this is a fun time.
Well, that stuff will stick with you, you know, especially if you cared to keep keep it evolving and
Yeah.
honing it in and
Document
making
it.
it bigger or
Yeah.
however you want to do that. You know?
Definitely.
I know that I have read, heard, and seen in multiple media outlets and different things, you know, especially during the discovery phase from the first time you came through, when I looked into, well, who is this, you know, which we do for everybody. You know, we try to see, well, what kind of footprint do you have? Contests. First contest win. What was that and when?
Yeah. So, well, I don't know which one you're talking about. I mean, we did a state.
Well, we didn't win the state fair.
No, we didn't win the state fair, but we did. What year was it? 2018, right?
I don't remember.
Now at this point, you know, the whole COVID like pause of everything is throwing
Oh, I
me
know.
into like, what
It
year
puts
is it?
It puts a real, I know.
Yeah. So it
I
was
know.
2018. We were nominated for a Josie Music Award.
Oh yeah, the Josies.
That's
Yeah.
that's what I was
Music
thinking of.
Awards.
Yeah.
D&D
So that
awards.
one is this big independent award show that's down. Usually it's hosted in Tennessee. The year that we were nominated for the first time was at Dollywood. It was hosted at the Celebrity Theater in Dollywood. It was really cool. We were like,
Man.
super excited.
I have no idea how we even got included in any of that. You know, I don't know who nominated us. I have no idea. Somebody nominated us, and then there had to be enough people to nominate to even get considered.
They get like tens of thousands of submissions.
Oh, wow.
And then there's like an exorbitant amount of categories that you could qualify for. So we got nominated for Pop Song of the Year. Was it Pop Group of the Year? The heck was it?
Contemporary and
Something. It was our song Beautiful, though.
Yeah, for Beautiful of all things.
And so we took a trip down there, the two of us, our drummer and our bass player at the time and our guitar player at the time.
Yeah.
And we just, it was an experience. So we won, man. You would have thought we won a Grammy. Like, we were jumping up and down, shouting, running up the
Absolutely
stage.
crowded theater.
Yeah, it was great.
Absolutely have to celebrate a moment like that.
Yeah,
That's
it was-
outstanding.
It was exciting. And then we meet some friends along the journey. We stayed at an Airbnb that, we still are great friends with these guys down in Tennessee. Like, it's just, it's just funny how, like,
Yeah, one thing leads to the next,
Yeah.
and you make these connections. And
and
some
we
of them
were
are
nominated
forever.
again the next year, and we didn't win that year, but
No, but we were in 9 categories that year, and we didn't win any of them. We were in 2 or 3 the year prior. No, maybe it was more than that.
Yeah, it was
Not many more, but we got the one win, and I was stunned. Because I had the whole thing. We're just honored to be here.
Sure.
you got like a whole red carpet experience. They
Oh
walk,
yeah,
walk
you walk
through.
in
There's
with
press,
the press
all these
and
independent
it was crazy.
magazines, some small local news stations
What an
down there.
experience.
Yeah, it was really neat.
crazy.
It was really neat.
Yeah.
So lots of pictures.
Yeah.
Dressed to the nines. Like you have to look good.
Performing acts.
Sure. Yeah, I've seen some of the pics.
Yeah.
It didn't look like it was a picnic.
No, and it was hot.
It was hot. 95 degrees that day, and it was dressed to the nines.
Yeah.
You guys
And
have to deal with that
holy
probably all the
cow.
time. You must do a lot of festival circuits during the summer and
Yes.
such, and so I'm sure you're outside all the time.
Man, brutally hot.
So Beautiful was the winner.
It won.
It was. I think it was.
No, did we
Beautiful-
get group or was it
We
song?
got Pop Group of the Year, but that's the song that
Okay.
I think put us in that
Yeah.
category, is what it is.
Yeah.
Hey, we were
So-
group of the year.
Yeah, that was Group of the Year. I'm sitting here
Right.
like racking
We have a
my brain.
trophy.
And then we actually had right after that, we had a independent radio station, like an internet radio station, Indie Star Radio, that had an award show, and he had us in a category for that was the one we had for Beautiful, I believe. And
Okay, so that's the one
we
we
won
won.
that one too. It was all in the same year, so yeah, that's cool.
Very, very cool.
Yeah.
Guys, want to, any questions for them?
Keep things going.
No pressure.
Yeah, no, that's cool stuff, guys. I like to hear that. I like to hear that there's people that can make it in the Midwest and make something happen with it.
Yeah.
I had a somewhat similar experience, but as a hired gun. I was playing with a band that was nominated for an IMEA award, I guess is what it was called, International Music and Entertainment Awards.
Okay.
And it was-
Yeah, I've actually heard of that.
Yeah, it was held at a theater in Kentucky called the Paramount Theater.
Okay.
And I don't even remember the guy's name. I just remembered I was a bass player on the band because he needed a band sort of thing. This was towards the beginning of my career, but those are so much fun,
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting that because I was still pretty, green behind the ears, or wet behind the ears, green. Yeah, I'm kind of mixing two phrases. there.
Blending the 2 phrases, which is perfect. That's
yeah.
the name of our album now.
Got
Green behind the ears.
My
Green
green
behind-
for gardening.
Yeah. But I was like 18 or 7, maybe even 17. I might not even been 18 at this point. I was young. I got hired on for this thing, and it was a 2-day thing. Go down there and do that, and that's such a cool experience to do the
yeah.
whole red carpet and thing, which
Yes.
I technically wasn't allowed to do that part because I wasn't the guy. I wasn't the guy that was hired, so I had to kind of watch. And then
terrible.
they took some pictures of us after the fact, and I'm just sitting there, I'm just glad to be here,
I'm just happy to be here with everybody, guys.
I know it was cool. There was contracts to be signed and money to be paid out and stuff like that. But it was cool. It was fun.
That's nice.
So.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a cool experience.
Yeah,
How
I've
often does
always-
this
Stuff like
happen?
that's great.
I'm always on the opposite end of that. I'm never the person that's doing doing it. I'm just like the person that's hired to be there with them, and I love that role. It's a lot of fun.
Structured our lives to be those people.
Yeah, we're
Hired is where the money is.
yeah,
right?
well, yeah.
Money's good. Money's important.
We can get a whole conversation about that. The money's really about all the people around the industry, not necessarily for the artists. You know,
Yeah,
I can't tell you how many times that the crew working the show are making way more than
Oh,
anyone
yeah.
on stage.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah, it's so true. It's so true.
Man, that was a downer.
Well, here's the thing. At least we love what we're
you know
doing.
what, I'm
No one
not-
up there is like,
I'm gonna start
man,
talking
I
about
love
reality
solving
and
cases
stuff.
This
around
is a
here.
reality
I'm
series.
Packing
done.
trucks.
Yeah. No, that's true. At least you, if you want to do it, that's what matters.
None of those guys are like, I can't wait to pack that semi thing. It's my favorite thing. It's my favorite.
Guys, I got to touch Stevie Ray Vaughan's amp.
I would do it for free even.
I mean, I haven't. You know what I mean? I mean, you know, that's a one-up.
great.
As far
That's
as I'm
great.
concerned, that's a legitimate one-up.
Oh, man.
Like, yeah.
Probably.
It's more than I've done.
Well, we have covered some very cool aspects of the past and a little bit into the present. We are definitely going to have a part 2 for the future. And I think,
More chipper
you know
ending
what?
note next time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want happy questions next
Sure,
time.
sure.
I'll send my my list of requirements.
Give us your writer.
There you go.
Red M&M's
Yeah.
okay?
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like
No.
the red. They're good.
I get the green.
We will,
My Christmas pack.
you know, maybe we'll even think about having you guys play and sing a little bit, you know, if you wanted to, you know, like little excerpts, you know, things like that. Or, you know, maybe we'll just stick to things we've done in the past, like talk about the title of a song and then,
Yeah.
you know, maybe punch in a little excerpt from it. So
be
we'll
cool.
talk more about part 2. Let this resonate, give you guys the opportunity to think about, you know, we should have really talked about this and we forgot that, and you know, because
an
that's
open
what
book.
happens. I mean, that's what we do week to week too, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I just
and-
found out that we got to mix one of their songs down by the next podcast.
Wow, right,
This is all news to me.
Oh, man, we got a
exactly. Oh
deadline?
my God! You know, I knew it was all business when Joe did the whole thing with his phone in his hand, and I was like, oh,
He's
you know,
recording it.
he's got
This
notes,
is
you know.
recorded for
I have-
quality
Yeah, there you go.
assurances.
That's right.
Written, I have your vocal acknowledgement, and you're going to do this.
Well, this has been awesome. We had an awesome day.
We did too.
Everyone out there, you will be hearing these mixes, these masters, and these tracks. They'll be coming your way soon. We're doing our very best to capture the very best, and we will be delivering on that. Let's see. We're going to see you guys maybe next week, but definitely in 2 weeks.
Definitely in 2 weeks.
And if we can, we will definitely engage in a part 2.
Yes.
And we'll all collaborate on what part 2's model will be. How about that?
That sounds great.
We'll
This
give you
has
a
been fun.
little artistic freedom with that.
Of course, we'll get the wood chipper out and have those chipper questions coming
Sure,
along.
Yeah, absolutely. Love it, love it. All right. From Laserlight, we are out. This has been Laserlight Presents All About the Gig.